Okay, our fourth index law is a law involving a power to a power. In other words, if I have something like y to the power of 3, and that's all squared, the fourth index law tells me that I multiply these two numbers to give me y to the power of 6. I'll show you how this works. Y to the power of 3 squared means y to the power of 3 times y to the power of 3. We know from index law 1 that when it's a multiplication and the bases are the same, we add these indices. So the fourth index law gives us a shortcut instead of having to do that. So if I've got m to the power of 5 all raised to the power of 4, I say m 5 times 4, which is m20. This is much quicker than having to say m5. Let's do that 4 times because it's raised to the power of 4. And then bases are the same, so we can add the indices, m20. Okay, same answer, but index law 4 gives us a quick way to get to it. So if we looked at worked example 9, the first one, this is 7 to the power of 4 times by 8, which is 7 to the power of 32. In our next bracket, our biggest trap is to remember that everything inside the brackets needs to be raised to the power outside the brackets. Where no index is shown, so for example with a 3 in this example here, where there is no index sign, assume that it is a 1. So I actually put a 1 in there so I don't forget it. Then, using index law 4, it's 3 to the 1 times 3, because I've got my 1 here and I'm timesing it by 3. Then it's a to the 2 times 3, because I'm multiplying the 2 by the 3. And then it's b to the 5 times 3. So my answer is 3 to the power of 3. 1 times 3 is 3. A to the power of 6, because 2 times 3 is 6. And b to the power of 15. Let's look at worked example 10. Again, let's put my little 1s in there so I don't forget. I've got 2 to the power of 1 times 2. B to the 5 times 2, that's my first lot of brackets. I then need to times this by 5 to the power of 1 times 3. B, I also put a 1 with the B. B to the power of 1 times 3. This gives me 2 squared. B to the power of 10 times 5 to the power of 3. B to the power of 3. The bases aren't the same here, so I can't say 2 plus 3, because the bases aren't the same. Index law 1 only works if the bases are the same. What I can do though is I know 2 squared is 4. So I've got 4b to the power of 10. And then I'm going to times that by 5 to the power of 3. Now I know that 5 to the power of 3 is 125. And that's b to the power of 3. Now look what I can do. I get my coefficients, my 4 times 125. I look at those, and then I look at my b's. So looking at what I've highlighted in green, my coefficients, 4 times 125 is 500. And then I've got b to the 10 plus 3. The b bases are the same. And index law 1 says I add those indices. So the answer is 500, b 13. Okay, our final worked example. Put my 1 in with my 2. Now everything here is raised to the power of 3. So in other words, this is 2 to the power of 1, a to the power of 5, d to the power of 2, all raised to the power of 3. So let's look at our top. It's 2 to the 1 times 3. Index law tells me I multiply these indices. It's a to the 5 times 3, and then on the bottom, d to the power of 2 times 3, because I'm multiplying these indices. So it's 2 to the power of 3, a to the power of 15, over d to the power of 6. You can leave it like that, or 2 to the power of 3 means 2 times 2 times 2, which is 8. So 8a to the 15, d to the power of 6. Okay, so the fourth index law is raising a power to another power. And in summary, if you're raising a power to another power, you multiply the indices.